Welcome to YLL. It's your girl Jazz Young, and I'm back with another one. Y'all, this is Motivational Monday, and for today's topic, we'll be talking about being misunderstood. And I feel like each week I've just been building and building and building. At first, it was definitely unintentional. It was just kind of working that way. Thank you, God. But the more I just look and reflect, we've been building on becoming better version of ourselves each week. Week one, we talked about protecting our access, how access is a privilege, not a right. Week two, we talked about shrinking ourselves and stop shrinking ourselves and being the authentic person that we supposed to be, being the person that we was destined to be. And this week, I thought it was important to know that we got to understand ourselves during misunderstandings. Um, it's easy for us to be misunderstood when we limit our access to things, when we limit our access to people, when we start to mind the business that pay us. You know, we it's easy to be misunderstood when you start to be yourself more and articulate it in a better fashion. It's easy for people to misunderstand us, and I think that in a world that we live in, we have to find ways to navigate what we're going to do. We got to find ways to navigate how we're not going to allow those misunderstandings to define us. And for today's Motivational Monday, it don't just come from me personally, like the personal experience that I have. I was very inspired by the Michael Beasley interview that he did on Club Shay. I watched Michael Beasley as a human being who was navigating life in a world that didn't know him, in a world that didn't understand him, and that did not try. Like, he was doing the best he could, and I recommend everyone to go watch it. If you're a Michael Beasley fan, if you're not a fan, if you just need a moment to just see if you can understand people, that everyone is different, I think that that is an interview that you should go watch. It's a must watch. It made me think that, you know, how many of us live in a life where we are labeled first before we're led. We are chastised and criticized before we're taught, before we have moments to learn. And that's where we get into this Motivational Monday. I feel like, you know, to understand misunderstandings, to understand, how to navigate misunderstandings, we had to first define it. And I think for me, misunderstandings are not due to people hating you. Misunderstandings are not due to people out to get you. Misunderstandings are not due to people not wanting to see you win. Most times, in my opinion, that misunderstandings are there because people don't have the capacity to understand the complexity that you bring. Michael Beasley said, birds fly, fish swim. We're all not the same. We're different. And when you're different, you think differently, when you process emotions differently, when you communicate differently. You're gonna have some people that are gonna understand you. You're gonna have some people that are gonna try to get you, and then you're gonna have some people that are gonna put you in a box. You're gonna have some people that are gonna categorize you. They're gonna label you. They are gonna simplify you. And when they do that, they stop listening. So once you're already labeled, people stop listening. They don't. It don't matter if it's real, if it's the truth, or if it's the lie. And that is one of the harshest pains of misunderstandings. And I think one of the harsh realities is when moments of that, you got to sit back and take responsibility, right? I often sit back and say to myself, 3 years ago, I would have probably been like, F everybody that had this misunderstanding of me. Like, I don't care. Like, and don't get me wrong, I still feel that way. That did not change really. But I have matured in a mindset of understanding that you have to take responsibility, right? There's two things that can be true. People misunderstood you, while at the same time, you got work to do, kid. You got some. I feel like misunderstandings or I know misunderstandings should help you grow. Misunderstandings should elevate you. Misunderstandings should be a way to make you a better version of yourself. Misunderstanding should not break you, nor should it define you. It in a sense should apply pressure to you, because we all should want to always grow. We all should want to always elevate. And I think to elevate, to navigate, you gotta take responsibility, right? Step one is taking responsibility of how you present yourself. Is there a way you could present yourself better? And that leads me back to the Michael Beasley interview, because I feel like if you watch the interview and you still look at Michael Beasley past and allow that to define his present, or allow that to define everything that you've seen or heard, and not understand that he's learned, or not understand, or you judged him for the action and don't have a better understanding of the choices, you gotta grow. You gotta get better, right? And at the same time, I feel like the Michael Beasley was able to articulate himself, because at this time and where he's at, he knows himself. Right? I feel like no matter what you say about Michael Beasley, he's not going to care. And he's not going to care because he understands himself. He knows what he can do. He knows what he's capable of. He's not going to think. It's not that thought no more. I don't think. I know. And when you know, that's how you'll navigate misunderstandings. When you know who you are, when you know and understand yourself, that's when you can beat all these allegations. That's when you can, and this crazy thing is, it's not beat it publicly. It's beat it within you. That's when it don't matter no more. So how do we navigate misunderstandings? How do we continue to grow and elevate each week that we do this Motivational Monday? Week 1, we protect our access. Week 2, we became more authentic. Week 3, we decided to take misunderstandings and know that we understand ourselves. We're not going to allow misunderstandings to define us, because if we allow misunderstandings, if we allow the interpretations that others put on us to define us, we'll start self-sabotaging ourselves. We'll start to perform and be the person others want us to be. Today is about being a person you know you are, being a person you understand yourself to be. And how do you know if you're at this moment? Because ask yourself this question. When I am misunderstood, how would I react? Am I going to over-explain myself? Am I going to start making myself small? Am I going to get defensive? Am I going to start questioning myself? Am I going to let this define me? Or are you going to say, I'm rooted in who I am? You may not understand me, and that's okay. But I know me. And that's the goal of life. That's the goal of anything, is understanding yourself, being self-aware. Because when you understand yourself, when you're confident in yourself, nothing in this world can take that away from you. Nothing in this world can break you. Not even a misunderstanding. So I challenge everyone. I challenge you to do this. Remember that it's okay. It's okay for everyone. It's okay for no one. It's okay for the world not to understand you. That is okay. But what is not okay is for you to not understand yourself. Protect your access. Don't shrink yourself. And now, invest in knowing who you are, so that confusion don't turn into self-destruction. That being said, no, man, stay blessed, stay cultural, and most importantly, never die. I love and I appreciate y'all. Peace.